and it is here. Welcome in Golden Tee Fight Club, Golden Tee Mobile for your Apple and Android devices. We are calling matches. We did this through quarantine, but we're upping the ante here in Fight Club. Adam Kramer, joined by Kevin Lindsay. We are in the Golden Tee headquarters, our bunker. We are socially distanced. Kevin, what are we going to see today?
Well, there's 5 weight classes. You're going to see a lot of heavy-hitting action, starting from the flyweight all the way up to the heavyweight matches for those level 40 to 49ers.
Yeah, you take a look here at the different classes. To get here, you had to qualify, which is a bit different. You had to basically play 7 different days. Here's the deal, though. No matter if you're the best player in the world or you're just starting, you can do this thing. You could try it. You can get some glory here. You can get featured. You can win some gold, and then you can get 2 imbeciles like us to call your matches. Kevin, what are you most excited about here? Like, I've done this a lot. I've done over 100 matches. It's insane. I did it from my basement. It got really weird. You're breaking into the commentary here. What are you looking forward to?
I'll tell you what, for all the years of calling Golden Tee arcade matches, switching up to mobile, you set the expectations really high, so let's see if I can make it through it.
Well, there you go. We'll set the bar there. And let's just get right to it. We'll go to our first match. We mentioned we'll end with the heavyweights. They will close out our show, and we'll have a winner that stays on. But here in the flyweight match, we have Spaceman 44 versus D1 Clobber. Okay, that's not it. Okay, that's not it, but it's going to be it because that's what we're going to say. And I think my boss is probably watching this show. So, Kevin, what stands out here?
Well, you know what? This is the flyweight. This is the entry-level weight class, but both of these players have 1 hole-in-1, so it'll be interesting to see if those stats go up throughout this match.
Okay, so we have not seen, obviously, these matches. This is new to us. There are no spoilers, no matter what the internet commenters say, right, Kevin? And this is on Hawthorne Manor. This is the front 9. It is sad that I know all of this. It's a 9-hole match. Great shot points are a tiebreaker. So as we tee things off here, the action usually starts early, right? Hole 1 can produce some moments.
Yeah, like you said, the great shots being the tiebreaker, even for these newer players, I'm interested to see how close they can get it to the cup.
Yeah, I got used to this too because on hole 1, normally in the arcade, you're not really gearing up for it. Like you're waiting for some of the drivable par 4s, the par 5s. But here it starts things early. There's the scorecard. Now, Kevin, you know this course. You know these courses probably better than just about any human being on earth. That is a compliment, I think.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Pretty good. Oh, that's tight.
Oh,
what? Yeah. What moment are you looking forward to here on Hawthorne?
Well, I appreciate Hawthorne Manor because it puts that par 3 up at hole 2. Typically on a Golden Tee course, hole 3 is the par 3, but it gives you a good opportunity early to get it close to the hole and get some great shot points.
There it is, the scorecard. Green is good, blue is better. That will be for Eagles. This hole can be tough, right? If you end up short of that brick wall, you are screwed. Oh, get up.
And that's exactly what I was actually going to say, is hole 3 being that drivable par 4, not the easiest of shots here, and 2 radically different approaches.
Yeah, that's where I usually am if I'm feeling safe, is deep because it's better than short. Wind cutter here, that's a good opportunity to use it.
Ooh.
Not bad. Not bad. This is a big chip.
Oh, the chipper, the Golden Chipper Club.
Just a little bit off the toe, I guess, to use a golf phrase. Looks like one of my chips. And the D1
I was just going to say that. It looks just like my regular golf and Golden Tee golf.
Well, that's when you're going to watch these matches too, especially those heavyweights. It's amazing how good they are with that club because of the skill involved, and that's where they're saving strokes. These guys so far are playing great, but that's a really important club here. A couple of different ways to play. It looks like, Kevin, up and over, but not over enough.
Yeah, that's going to be some trouble. Getting out of those deep bunkers is not going to be fun.
The strategy here is, do you play short and do something like that, which is not a high success rate? You've got the Ranger to get the distance. The problem is buried in the bunker.
I'll tell you what, though, that shot could have ended up a lot worse with the tree in the way. It's a pretty clear shot to the hole.
Let's see here, floating it in. One thing too, Kevin, that's a pretty good shot, is playing the break of the green, right? I've called enough of these where a right 3 or a right 4 really plays like it feels much greater than that. The moment that ball lands, it's got to kick left or right. You'll see that especially with the heavyweights, where they kind of master the art of hitting it into greens. Speaking of greens, look at all that green.
I say, hey, birdies all around for the first 4 holes is nothing to be ashamed of.
No, I'd be happy with it here. Now, this hole, is it drivable and mobile? In the arcade game, it was on occasion, correct?
Yeah, and actually we're seeing that now. He's going to try get over the water.
Okay, that's a chip.
Eagle opportunity.
You'll see some different pins and also tee boxes that make that possible too, where maybe in matches to come it won't be. Sit, just settle. That should be a putt. Big chip here. Wind cutter applied.
That the chipper is a great club, but if you just push it a little bit too far to the left or right, it's game over for that opportunity.
All right, so still these guys just back and forth. We don't have great shot points. I say that because I have to keep track of that in my head when we get to like the judges' scorecard, just so we can know here. Up and over. Just
a little short, though.
Gonna be a chip.
I like the idea of using the 3-wood here, although that wind, although not heavy, that sniper sticks it right in the rough.
Now, that's a shot right there, too. You'll see guys putt from that, just like this. Ranger, again, I did not see that, but that Ranger really can cut through a lot of ground. And, I mean, it was amazing where some of the heavyweights would putt, but finally a break. The D1 machine, the clobber, now with a one-stroke lead. I'm sorry. That will never not be funny. Wait till we get to the old car box, man. Oh, my God. Okay, so this is an interesting. Yeah, this is an interesting hole. You've got to be right in the middle there, right? You got to be up. That's probably not up enough, is it not?
No, and you see that here. He's got to go through the trees here, and at this point, if he hopefully gets to the green in 3, then he's looking for a birdie. I love this shot,
good.
Though.
Yeah, that looks good.
Oh wow,
yeah.
That is
very
beautiful.
Tight. So GSP's finally, as we watch the replay here.
I love the outfit, by the way. Just barefoot, toes in the grass.
Casual. Yeah, that's nice. That's a good use of the sniper. We've only seen it used once or twice so far. I think we'll see a lot more of them. That's a solid little layup. Spaceman in. But the clobber, back-to-back eagles. 2-shot lead. What's the strategy now if you're Spaceman?
Well, you've got a par 3, which is, you're seeing it right now, an opportunity to make up some ground, but being down 2 going into 8 and 9 is going to be tough to come back from.
9 is a swing hole, although this usually isn't, but I mean, that was an interesting moment there.
Oh.
So stay tuned. That's got to sit, and that's not going to sit. Problematic. These instant replays on the hazard shots, by the way, Kevin, they make me very sad.
They sound too exciting for what's about to happen, but
yeah, the exciter warning and then sad trombone. All right, so that was a moment there potentially to get one back. Not going to happen. We'll see. Maybe get one back. Sit. Oh boy. So the clobber is in for par and a bogey here, which means 3 strokes heading into hole 9, which I don't know. That's suboptimal, I guess.
Yeah, with hole 9, I don't know if you're going to hit the water on this one. You'd have to. I was going to say I didn't want to put my foot in my mouth and say it's hard to hit the water, and then it happens.
Get it out of the way. Do it all the time.
Yeah.
This can be a really tough hole, and that's the problem right there. Just a little bit short, it's going to kick backwards.
Now, I will say, if you're ever going to mess this hole up, that's the best way to do it, because at least you're still on there chipping for eagle versus wet, and then chipping for birdie or par.
All right, so the clobber here. Ooh, bit of a pull. Taps in. But that is going to be a D1 victory.
It's a D1 clobber.
D1 energy is what that is. -10 to -7. The animations here also always make me kind of laugh. So, all right, Kevin, we have got our first Fight Club match officially in the books. We have not scared you off yet. Let's recap that thing. What stood out there?
Let's take a look at the highlights from that match. I mean, there was a lot of them. The fact that birdies all around for the first couple of holes, and then, D1 clobber just kind of running away with it.
I like big D1 energy, by the way. I
yes,
really did.
I want to put that on a T-shirt, actually.
Big D1 energy. We're not encouraging you to do your name, by the way, like that, okay? We're just going to run with it. Yeah, this was an interesting shot. It was just kind of back and forth at first, right? That could have been real bad. I mean, that could have been one of those early moments. We see that on Hawthorne back nine. The putt here through the rough, you're going to see a lot more of that.
Yeah, the all-terrain Rangers being able to putt through the rough is something that you might not necessarily be used to, but I think as we get higher up in the ranks, you'll see that ball used a lot more.
This was a really big shot. Shot of the match.
Sniper.
12,000 GSPs, had a lead, and then able to capitalize that. There was an opening at the end with a missed shot on the par 3, just unable to cap that thing off. All right. So we are in the books with our first match.
Very first match
of many, by the way. Fight clubs are going to be going on forever until they boot us out of here. Or they don't like the content anymore. Whatever. We're going to keep doing
until they shut the lights off.
Match 2. We're moving up weight classes. What are you expecting to see here? What do we have to set the tone for us here as we get into our second match?
Well, the featherweight division, it's levels 13 through 19, so a little bit more experience. You're probably going to see a bit more in the stats category. Very interested to see what happens on Elkhorn front 9.
All right, so let's get to it. Let's get to the match. We've got Auntie Chambers, great name, and Chop Meower, not Meow Chopper, we don't think. Chop Meower scores right away. By the way, that's a good-looking vault. I don't know who did that vault. Like that vault a lot. What else stands out for you here, Kevin?
The great shot points. Over 2,400,000 great shot points for Chop Meower, which is going to be hard to say. I'm probably going to screw it up and say Meow Chopper at some point. Let's be honest.
Now, this is delightful. Look at this out of the gate. Elkhorn 1 is drivable, which it not often is. Great wind, maniacs, high tee, maximum distance. Look at this thing land. 352 in the air. Don't go too deep. Oh, I hate that.
The hops on those power balls, a lot to come there with that elevation change. That really did not help.
I would be on tilt. In fact, I am on tilt for Auntie Chambers' behalf here as Chop Meower. Now I'm going to screw it up because you mentioned it. Now I'm not going to be able to say. We've said Meow Chopper a few thousand times.
Exactly.
We'll have to adjust to this one.
I do love the fact that we are starting off this course with 2 back-to-back drivable par 4s, and you're seeing those javelin wind cutters right out of the gate.
Yeah, this is a beautiful hole beautiful course. First of all, probably my favorite looking course that we have in mobile, but it's also super scoreable. Like it is, you mentioned, especially if 1 is there, like it was. You're coming out of the gate. Look at that, 3 out of 4 opportunities with eagles and a pretty manageable par 3 here next up. Oh yeah.
Oh, that looks good.
Oh. So what? If you're just tuning in, you're wondering what the hell is that? Right? That is when you've played a bit of Golden Tee Mobile, that is what the strategy is. Wow. You could go out the old-fashioned way and almost jar it too, but you're going to see a lot more of that of players chipping with what? 0 hybrids, 1 irons, 2 irons, 3 irons, basically any club to take wind out of the equation.
Exactly. Here's the thing. If you come at the hole hot, there's a good chance that it's going to drop right in the cup. So I can't fault these guys and gals for trying new things on mobile.
And they're so confident in their chipping, at least as you get up the upper echelon. They know that even if they screw it up, they miss it, they're short, they're long, they can use a chipper and get that stroke back, or they're more than likely to do it. So, all right, this is interesting. So you could go left on this hole, or you can go right. Now you got to hit a big curve around, right, Kevin?
Yeah, and I'm worried that it's going to be a little too far left right in the water. That was exactly what I was kind of concerned about because hitting it around those rocks and trees, it's a bit risky.
It's also an unforgiving front. So if you are, and this is the more likely miss you're going to normally see, and that's not really even a miss, it's just a safer shot. That the way that green drops off into the water, problematic.
Oh, that was
huge.
A beautiful 88-foot putt.
The Chop Meower, Meow Chop, whoever this human being is of the chop variety right now is on an absolute roll. Downhill, elevation change is a big theme on this course too. Distance control here, pretty good.
I would say a smart use of the grabber because you're going to get some backspin, but nothing too crazy to be affected by the big elevation changes there.
And that looks like a good safe shot, too. Going to land the green, stick it. A couple of not gimmies, but very makeable putts. Shot Meower. Kevin, Golden Tee par on this course, when we say Golden Tee par, by the way, we're saying you eagle everything you can, you birdie everything. I mean, 15, yes? I think a lot hinges on first hole being drivable, I think.
Yeah, 14, 15, 16, or if you do something like, come on. That hurts.
I was on my chair, actually. That would have been good content.
We would have had to switch to your camera there. That's a beautiful shot.
I thought this was going to come up way short, to be honest. That released quite a bit. Oh, my God. That is, for a postcard, on fire. Let's see here.
That is a pretty ballsy shot there with the grabbers, but it worked out if they can put this in.
Yeah, didn't get fringe there. I get a little squirmy around the fringe. You never know. I think we've
some old Lance Harris.
Yeah, sorry, Lance. Love you, John. So here you go, par 5. Again, another couple of different ways to play this hole as well.
Yeah, this is one that if you're used to the arcade version of Elkhorn, you're going to see a different tee box here than you typically do. But this is a perfect example. 2 completely different shots that you can go after to try to get eagle.
Interesting. Now, hey, there's a Yeti in the back. What's up, Yeti? This is the way I like to go because I've never really trusted it going right. That's a great shot, actually.
It's a cleaner opportunity. I'm surprised at the Maniacs, but the distance there might have been the factor.
This is another, you talk about difference in arcade, right, Kevin? Like, you can't do that. There's not a ball in the arcade version that can make snow palatable. Good putt there.
Sounds like a good option for 2022, though.
Here we go. Always angling. 12-10 now, heading into the last 2 holes. 9th hole being a par 3. Not great if you're chasing shots. Just spoiler alert.
Yeah, but this being a drivable par 4, wow. I was really worried about that hitting the rock and kicking farther back, but that was a beautiful shot.
Bringing it in right to left. Does it have enough? Might have a putt at it still. That's interesting. You don't usually see that. Oh, boy.
Let's
travel through the fringe.
Oh,
good effort. Chop Meower. Not awkward at all for me to say. Tap in there. Chop Meower has been clean. So I mentioned 15 being par. We're about there. In fact, this is a good look to get close to the cup here.
Let's see. Get some spin there. Not enough, but that's still a great shot to end the round.
That's a pretty safe shot, honestly. You'll see that backspin just kind of let it settle, even though you got the down 1 right 3.
Oh!
Good shot.
That's a good attempt on your final chance.
Yeah, GSPs to end the round. I think you'll see a lot more super backspin on that hole, depending on the wind. It's a pretty good wind to get aggressive. This is a great shot, though, as it lands and just kind of curls right next to it.
Yeah, I thought that had a chance of dropping. That would have been the hole-in-one I was talking about earlier.
So Chop Meower, though, taps in, and even with the heavyweights coming, Kevin, as you see the scorecard there, 15-12, I don't know if we'll see, well, maybe we will. We don't know. We truly don't know if you'll see a cleaner round of Golden Tee played all of Fight Club. We still have 3 matches to go, but Chop Meower there, what'd you think?
It was impressive, especially for the featherweight division. It's not often that you expect to see a clean round. And going back to what you said in terms of clean rounds going forward, I think the course, the random course selection is really going to make the difference there. But I think we should take a look at some of those highlights. It's an exciting match.
I'm liking the highlights because when we narrated these for Worlds, that's low light, highlight, whatever you want to call them, right? Recaps. It was hard because you couldn't get this. You couldn't see that type of shot. Looking at it again, there was a couple, like Chop Meower could have actually had 16, 17 under here.
That's a good point. I mean, both players had good shots, especially on those par 3s. And then, it just takes one bad mistake that you and I know very well in the world of Golden Tee, and it just drops your game down there.
I feel like those fringes that back up to the green are more severe in mobile than they are in the arcade game. And the misses and the penalties are probably a bit more drastic. That was a really good shot there. This was the shot of the match, though.
Still cannot believe that this did not drop.
Oh, gosh, it like hit a brick wall. 11,000 GSPs there. Awesome start. All right, we are 2 matches into this. Are you still, you're functioning, you're good, you're ready to keep going?
Are you talking to me or the viewers? Because I think I'm ready. I'm excited. These matches have been great so far, and they're just going to keep getting better as you get to the more seasoned vets, as we'll call them.
Quick plug. If you like what you're seeing, A, subscribe to our channel. B, go play this. Fight Club 2 it's happening right now in Golden Tee Mobile. If you haven't downloaded it yet, go do that. GoldenTee.com/Apple/Android. I'm getting better at saying that because I plug the hell out of it. And it's in the contest mode. Go play. You can win gold. We raised the prizes for gold this week, right? Like, go try this out. We want to call your match.
I'll tell you what, the one thing I wanted to mention, because I just realized it, we're approaching Golden Tee Mobile's 1-year anniversary here in a few weeks.
Oh my
so
God.
What a better way to celebrate than downloading this game, trying it out. It is different than the Golden Tee you might know, but it is just as fun with a different flavor on it. And if you download it now, we'll forgive you for the last 11, 12 months of not playing it.
No, we and if you're not, come back. We got all sorts of. This isn't just the only mode we have happening. We got more things happening. All right, let's go to middleweight. I will plug the shit out of this game. I will continue. If you let me talk for an hour about that, I will. Middleweight match. So we just saw a 15 under that is clean. We move to our next match. Kevin, what are your expectations here?
Well, we just saw the front 9 of Elkhorn Ridge. Now we're going to see the back 9. The back 9 is not as forgiving as that front 9 when it comes to scoring. So I'm interested to see how these players tackle it.
Yeah, me too. One of the things I'm really looking forward to seeing is Hole 18. Hole 18 in the arcade version, in the mobile version, is really, really hard. I think Hole 10, when you talk about a par 5, when you get things out of the gate, it's really could be easy, could be hard, depending on where things can go. So excited to call this match.
Yeah, 17, that par 3, I think, is going to be another potential deciding factor. But let's take a look and see how it goes.
All right, so we've got QWERTY 1, 2, 3. I think that's QWERTY, right? Versus DeChambro. Name A+, if you are a golf fan at all. The 1 seed versus the 3 seed. Kevin, I'm going to keep asking you, when you look at these stat cards, what's the first thing that jumps out to you?
Well, I was just looking at the best contest score in the averages. DeChambro, a little bit better of an average, and then QWERTY. I'm gonna mess that name up all day now.
It's all right. QWERTY 1, 2, 3. It's not as egregious as the D1 clobber. Big D1 energy.
Yeah, D1 energy.
Okay, so this is actually not a bad look. That is interesting here, though, because this is going to be. Well, you could still curve around there. That was a good hop that he just got.
Yeah, I feel like that shot has been done a few times by DeChambro because otherwise it didn't seem like a good way to start off.
Yeah, because this is the problem. You really have to curve it in. You're at the risk of hitting that wall. And if you play it right here, wind cutter, and then just, wow, look at this thing coming in 1,000,000 miles an hour. Great shot. All right, so let's see here. Wind cutter coming up.
That's a good shot. Is it going to slow down?
GSPing?
Oh, just out of GSP range.
Yeah, that's huge. If you can get GSPs early, it's important because you don't know how a match is going to unfold. There's the scorecard. No GSPs, but an early lead here, but things are just heating up. Kevin, this hole is a quiet killer for me. It's a 2-shot par 4, but there's some distance management quirks, elevation quirks, right? Like, it's easy to drop a shot here.
Yes, the elevation change, if you don't fly by on this hole and you just start whacking away, and this is actually a really smart move by DeChambro, the distance, or the elevation change and the distance can get you from the middle fairway there.
This is where if you can cut the ball, that's a good shot. I think. There we go. Very good.
I feel like I'm just going to think everyone's getting robbed of shot points like I do. Because I thought that was another great shot that should be worth some GSPs.
I am so with you. In the matches I've called, it looks 6 feet, and for some you know what I mean. It's deceiving at times just how far that is. There's the scorecard. QWERTY still with the lead. Hole 12, a par 3, not bad here with the wind cutter.
Yeah, and the one thing I want to reiterate. Oh, is that going to go?
Ooh.
The one thing I want to reiterate is that although, down a stroke after 2 holes, the back 9 is definitely the opportunity to get that back really easy.
Yeah, if you're going to drop one, we don't want to drop a stroke, but that's the time. And you mentioned it. You've got hugely volatile holes starting right now. Actually, this is a unique hole. You got to go up top here. Having a sniper versus non-sniper, right, is a big advantage, though, is it not?
Yeah, I've seen the water way too many times on this hole, both in the arcade and
Get
mobile.
up.
And you got to get up there.
Oh.
Now, I was going to say, with the sniper, that's actually it's not ideal, but it could be a lot worse.
Yeah, this is a beautiful look here with the wind cutter. It's going to settle nicely. I've said it in all the videos. I love the fact that not only are you cutting the wind down, but you're also getting some spin. All right.
That's about as good as a shot you could probably get being stuck on the edge of that rock.
Yeah, let's see here. Now, this is where 10 mile an hour is. Look at that thing get blown around. Yeah, that's a tough shot to be aggressive on. No matter what golf ball you use, you're probably just hoping for a tap-in, which he has.
Yeah, the orbit with the super backspin might have been a better play, but I know, hindsight is 20/20, they say, and I know I've done that, hit the grabber and think, should have had the super backspin. But still a great attempt at it.
It was, and 2 strokes now, but this is another, we talk about drivable par 4s and par 5s. This is another hole that, if you're not careful, can be a big pain in the ass. I mean, I'm just going to say it because it's been a pain to me.
Yeah, it's really easy to get overly aggressive on the tee shot and hit that in the water. Thankfully, both players smart with the ball control and the ball type. And this is not an easy green, even with the pin in the middle. So the fact that both of these guys are hitting great shots with that corner pin, kudos to them.
The other thing I wanted to point out through 2.5 matches here, putting has been really good. When we started doing Worlds matches, there was almost some nerves, and these guys really haven't played in that. Putting has been solid for the most part. You know what I mean? They're getting up, hitting putts. It's nice to see because we saw even really good players.
Oh, wow. Oh, yes! Finally! No putting needed.
Drano, what would you like? Look at the way you play the break of the green here. Absolutely perfect.
I mean, giant hop. That was unbelievable. I thought that it was going to go right of the cup, but that Golden Tee Gopher pulling that shot in the cup, that was a beautiful ace.
That was spectacular, and this is deep. A little bit deep. That's going to be a chip, and not an easy chip.
Oh!
Got the old vacuum cleaner treatment. So you lose a stroke to an ace, but you prevent the damage from getting any worse.
Yeah, I've seen this in match play, and we both experience it. It's tough to be mad when somebody hits a beautiful shot like that on you.
No, absolutely not. I mean, there's not much you can do other than do what you got to do. Now, two different strategies here. I know what the strategy on this one. Don't bend it in too far to the left, otherwise the water's in play. That's tough. You're too far anyways. This is the shot I'm interested in seeing here, right? What we have.
Yeah, I thought that it might be a little too close to the rocks there, but what do I know? Perfect. Yeah, almost perfect.
Yeah, I'm with you. I didn't think that would be able to clear, but that was
the Ranger. The all-terrain Ranger really helped there.
Good shot there. Just trying to pick your break and play that left 6. It's a big chip.
Ooh.
Oh, just a little.
That ball slowed down a little bit more than I expected, but that was a smart play.
All right, so DeChambeau taps in. There's our first ace of Fight Club lore, which we appreciate. This is the hole you were talking about here.
Yeah, so thankfully with this setup, there's no elevation changes like you see a bit more on the arcade side. But again, tucked pin in the corner, bottom corner, not the easiest look.
I am a little surprised we saw no snipers. This is a hole where snipers get a workout, right? Because you just want to put it right next to the hole and not think about it.
Ooh. Yeah, like you said, the putting has been spot on. There's been some, Golden Tee Gopher love and pulling those shots in the cup, but even for all these divisions, the putting has been amazing.
I thought you said Golden Tee Go, but then I realized it was Golden Tee Gopher first.
Yes.
So now I get it. That's very clever, actually. The go for love. All right. Apologies. All right. So, yeah.
By the way, I don't even know how to describe that shot other than amazing. The fact that it cleared those rocks, again, not to talk about how bad we are, but we have definitely hit those rocks plenty of times. So kudos to...
really hard hole, right? One of the hardest that we probably have in mobile right now. And I actually understand a layup, frankly. I get it. Oh. Just slowed down.
Yeah, the down slope just pulled it way left.
Cordy, I'll say the name for you, just so you don't have
Thank
to.
you. I appreciate it.
So
I just want to say, QWERTY.
Yeah. All right, so Cordy with the win. We got our first ace, which was not just like a par 3 ace. That was an emphatic par 4, going roughly 84 miles an hour into the cup, perfectly placed ball.
Yeah, I was going to say, it wasn't just, it was the exclamation mark pretty much on the game, and a beautiful shot that, let's take a look at the highlights. I'm sure that's probably going to be on there.
It's got to be, right? So let's take a look here. So again, I was saying how hard this hole is and almost in the cup.
The GSP robber is what I'm going to call that.
Yeah, wind cutter here. Look at this thing. This was a good-looking shot as well. Just a little bit deep. This was probably the biggest moment, well, up until the ace, I guess, huh?
Yeah, I'm still surprised that the sniper stuck the rough there. Could have been a lot worse, but probably not a shot that they're going to repeat.
That was nice. That was nice, but this was world class. Watch how fast this thing, it picks up speed, and
boom.
Bam. Wow.
I mean, honestly, for a wind cutter, that was a huge hop that I honestly wasn't expecting, and then right into the cup.
Look at this. Double the replay treatment. I mean, this is it helps.
It deserves it.
It does. This is I would be surprised if that's not the shot of the event. Okay, so we are through now more than 50% of our fight club. We are getting up into our bigger weight classes, right? So already pretty good scores. I have to say, when we were talking about doing Fight Club, it was like, well, what will the weight classes in the bottom half look like? I'm just being for real. I love y'all. All the newbies and I'm not even going to say novices, I was going to say it, that are playing. We love you and appreciate you. In fact, if you're already playing this game, get your friends to play it, to download it, to compete in contests, play Fight Club, whatever. We've got a lot of really cool stuff coming before the end of the year. But back to ripping on the weight classes. I expected maybe less, and they outperformed it. So what are you expecting to see here with 2 matches to go?
Well, like you said, we're at the cruiserweight level, so it's that 30 to 39, 40, and we saw a lot of great shots so far. I think it's only going to get crazier with this match.
Yeah, I expect we'll see a little bit of a strategy change. You'll see a little bit more aggression. When you start to see maybe a player using grabbers or backspin, you'll start to see more super backspin. There's a confidence level that we saw with our Worlds qualifying that is so high that I think it A, is fun to watch, and B, will get these players success and also maybe in trouble. So I think you'll see the intensity turn up a little bit.
Yeah, the other thing I was just thinking about is we saw the use of the chipper a little bit in those earlier weight classes. I think now that we're getting to the final 2, like you said, you'll see aggression because they have that perfection of the chipper and they know they can hit those short, quick shots.
All right, so let's get to the match. Been a lot of 1 seeds and a lot of 2 seeds. They had to get through an 8-player bracket to get here. Sheltonian, I called a Sheltonian match earlier last week as he was getting to this event versus Chabbers. I'm going to assume it's Chabbers.
I mean, these names are creative, but they also make my life as an announcer just a little bit more difficult.
Look at that, 15 a pop for holes in 1.
That
lot of
great.
GSP. This looks very evenly matched, and now we're moving to the back 9 of Teal Gardens. All right, you know this course. I know specifically. What are you looking for here?
Well, there's a par 5 on the back 9 that is sometimes drivable. We've seen it with the Golden Tee Mobile players using some of those wind cutters and the Maniacs to get on the green in 1. So I think the setup on that hole could really change the outcome of this match. That's a great shot to start off.
That is a great shot, and this is not a kind pin. This is a pin that if you're trying to be too cute with, you could go short, or almost go long. So that, and I get why you'd almost go long because you really don't want to go in the water there.
Oh,
that's on me. Okay, I compliment the putting.
Damn it!
That's on me. I'll take the blame for that. I get it. So right away, we've had some blood on the first hole. We got some blood here.
Yeah, Sheltonian with the eagle to start off. Not bad way to kick it.
I'm a little surprised we didn't see a wind cutter there. It's a popular choice of ball. Interesting.
Yeah, neither player using it, especially for 11-mile-an-hour wind on a short par 3. Let's hope the putting holds up.
It could be. There you go. Good putt. It could be tough, right? Maybe you don't have the club distances right. Good putt. So no issues there, despite me calling it out, the playing style. I'm just keeping it real. Par 5 here, you can go left or you can go right. I think this is the right way, correct? Because of the way the wind's pointing?
Yeah, most of the time when the wind's blowing to the right, you want to go to that right side area. It also depends on where the pin's at. The one thing I forgot to mention when we were walking into this course is the number of par 5s. You kick off with a par 5, you've got hole 12. I think 15 is another par 5, the potentially drivable one, and then 16. The numbers might be off, but 4 easy eagle opportunities for the par 5s should make this match interesting.
I like when the pin is back here, even though it's a little bit of a longer shot. That's okay. You don't get fringe there. You should have a flat putt. There it is. Good putt.
Yeah, the up 6 makes it pretty easy.
Yeah, it does. When that pin is back there, you can let your ball carry and really kind of lead up to it. So a couple of eagles. This isn't a unique par 3. I mean, this one, depending on where the pin is, can be pretty challenging.
You know what? I was going to say, this is probably the best looking setup I've seen on this hole in a long time.
10 in your face, which you can turn into a 2.5, by the way, no issues, is not bad.
Oh!
This looks fun. That go through the hole?
I don't know. It felt like it. I thought we were going to have a dunk.
All right, so let's see here. I was hoping great shot points so we can get a replay. How much did we miss a dunk by?
I mean, God. A couple of inches, if that.
Oh. At least it came back for great shot points, because that would have irritated me.
Yes.
I mean,
we would have manually forced the replay.
That was unbelievable. All right, so good shot, and we are still 6-5 heading into, you mentioned it, another par 5.
Okay, so I was off a little bit. Hole 14, this is the one that's sometimes drivable, but that 12-mile-an-hour wind in your face tells you really quickly, don't even try it.
You know what? Interesting strategy here, too, is distance control. You don't have to be up close, that close. In fact, one of the matches I called this week, I forget who it was, but somebody was too close to the bamboo, and it almost got a little sketchy, right? So you got to just be careful. Oh, my goodness.
Speaking of sketchy, I did not expect that to stay up there. That was a beautiful result of an interesting shot.
All right, so super backspin now coming into play, albeit on a big downslope. It just didn't do much there.
No, but that was the safe play. They knew they were going to hit it hard enough to get it past the hole and made the putt, which is excellent.
Sheltonian with a really good shot at a really tough pin. Now, it is like par 5 again here, actually. All right, so
back to backers.
A couple of different ways to play here. This, I think, is probably the most challenging par 5 on the course. Interesting. You don't normally see this way. You can't miss left. You cannot. Okay. All right, so that is. Yeah, that is what that is. That bridge can be a big pain.
Yeah, the bridge is not fun. If you could avoid it at all costs, that's going to be the smart play.
See, even hitting this island, a bomb, right? This is a good-looking shot, too, by the way.
Yeah, I got to say, it's not the shot I would have gone for. I mean, it hopefully pays off for him, but you hit that bridge, and it's game over.
All right, so I criticize the other weight classes. You're criticizing these guys. Perfect. This is how we win over the viewers. There we go.
There we go.
All right. Taps it in there. Scorecard ahoy. Kevin, this is a fun closing stretch of holes, too, by the way.
Oh, wow. This is a down 8 slope, 11 wind in your face. At your back, which is going to make that putt a little difficult.
This whole, the amount of times I've seen this whole get really good players, it's pretty surprising. This is not a bad look, but it's just kind of an odd feel, odd distance, right? Odd everything about this.
I mean, you saw it. The orbit, the super backspin ball hit the green, rolled up about a couple inches, and then just rolled back down because that down 8 is just too powerful on the tee shot.
All right, the putting has recovered since I jinxed it, by the way. Now, this hole I could do without, and that's fine. Let's see.
Oh.
Looks like one of my tee shots.
Yeah. Not
what happened?
Not going to help.
Right? Overcut is harder to cut with an iron than it would be a wood, and that's what that hole can do.
I'm really... Get up there. Oh. I'm surprised that they went with grabber and not sniper, to be honest.
Okay, so we have carnage. Okay, we have absolute carnage. I thought that'd get a good favorable bounce, but no. We got to look stand.
Oh. Now, the interesting thing, too, is on his tee shot, watered it and actually had a better opportunity than... Wow, that should have went. I thought that was...
All right, so
I lost my train of thought because it was so good.
Yeah, we got a bogey. We have a par. Not as much carnage as maybe I thought. And we still have now a one-stroke lead. Oof, fun hole here.
Oh, that's a beautiful tee shot.
Get up.
Stop.
It is such an aggressive upslope that even a wind cutter is going to really get that thing to stop from moving.
Yeah, interesting. That I love the fact that both of them using the wind cutter. The putting is going to be the key here.
All right, so this has got to go.
Ooh,
and it
that was right in the cup, dead center.
And this one,
same thing
as well. Good match, not perfect, but I'll be honest. I like the matches where there's some flaws, right? I like the matches where you got to work for it a bit. It's fun, more fun for us to call. What stands out about that one?
I was just going to say, it's so easy, whether you're playing on the arcade version or mobile, you have a bad shot, and it's so easy to fall after that. So the fact that Sheltonian recovered after taking that bogey on the drivable par 4, beautiful shot in 18 right in the cup for eagle, I was actually really impressed by that.
Yeah, you mentioned it. You can see, even though we can't see them, when you're watching someone just have disasters, you can feel the tilt, right? You can see someone just all of a sudden struggle.
It's like it hits you right here, just like personally on so many levels.
Yeah, it does. All right, let's look at the highlights here and look at some of the moments, highlights, lowlights, all sorts of things. Start with that. That's a low light. That's the non-fun way to start, which is a missed putt. That's my bad. It was a jinx. I admitted it. I don't want to talk about it. Oh.
Yeah, I still can't believe that we did not get the dunk on that. That was such a beautiful shot. The 10,000 shot points, not good enough. That should have been so much more.
All right, so up and over the bridge here. You know, for the Maniacs, it still surprises me how much spin you get, even though you're getting distance and loft. And boom, as Kevin Lindsay would say, the gopher comes out. Dink. See a piece of roof fall out? Was that roof or was that sniper resume?
I'm probably a little bit of both.
And that is a shot that I hit a lot. I overcut my irons like crazy. This, so close.
Honestly thought that this was the unraveling.
Yeah, I'm with you. Now, this is a really good shot. You just got to park it up there. It's not a bad look. I'd rather have it back up top there. Boom. Signed, sealed, delivered. And Kevin, like that, we are through 4 out of our 5 matchups. Now, we got to set the tone and set the table here. It's a little different for everybody else, right? So we're going to reset everybody's brackets each week, except for the heavyweight, right? So the heavyweight that wins today is going to be on, and it's going to have to be dethroned. The next Fight Club, which, by the way, I already plugged this, is going on right now. Qualify.
This exact moment.
This exact moment. It's happening right now. So what are you expecting to see now that we have made it to our heavyweights?
Well, they're called heavyweights for a reason. And again, all these matches today have been exciting and amazing, but now you're talking about 2 level 49 players. The names are going to sound really familiar to anybody who's been following this game over the last year. Here's the other thing. Desert Valley back 9. There's going to be a lot of water that might come into play, but can these heavyweight players tackle these tough spots?
Okay, I'm so excited. I'm smiling. I'm giddy inside because the man, the myth, the legend, Old Fart Box is back. Old Fart Box. That may sound weird to those of you who have no idea what the hell I'm talking about.
I didn't even think about that. That's amazing.
We did World Championship qualifying. Old Fart Box. And Jane, by the way, it's not going to be spelled like Jane, but it is Jane. We're two regulars, really good players. And these guys were competing, but it brought me childlike joy to say Old Fart Box's name. And I'm so excited we get to do it again.
Yeah, let's take a look and see if James can take down the Old Fart Box.
There you go. You mentioned 49 a pop and also Desert Valley expert conditions. So these are going to be juiced up. Old Fart Box. I missed you.
Wow.
Look,
great shot points. 200-something thousand separating. That's amazing.
Jane with almost 1,000 holes in one. Incredible. Look at that 18 under, by the way, for 9 holes. That's insane.
And the other thing that we haven't talked too much about today, but these are the 3rd and 4th seeds of the heavyweight division. So that's also an interesting little tidbit to think about.
All right, so this is a hole where you just got to pick your landing spot, like what works for you, and then figure things out. Obviously, both of these guys do that without issue.
Zero hybrid. Wow. We talked about this, but that's a beautiful shot and not one that I would ever try.
Yeah, so that's the other thing I think you can expect to see if you're just tuning in now is shots that you just, man, I got to shut up because this is going right at it.
Oh, come on.
Almost.
How? How does that stop?
Yeah. That is unbelievable. Let's see it.
Where's the Golden Tee Gopher when you need it?
So reach in and just knob that thing. Let's see.
You know what? It tapped the rough on the second bounce just enough to kick it right of the cup. Still a beautiful shot.
Old Fart Box trails. Feels good. I'm back. But still, 3 apiece, and we've got. You mentioned this is a really fun 9 holes. This is one where, again, I think for the average player or the player's not experienced, elevation, distance control could be weird. I don't expect we'll see that for either of these two.
No, there's so much experience between both these players. My question is, how many great shots are we going to get? Because we've seen a few already, just that one on hole 10, but I think between these two players, the top-tier talent, and this shot,
it's really good.
Just about there.
Yeah, it's really good. It's not the easiest pin to get at either because you got to get it up and over and then curl it in like that.
And then you do that.
Oh, my goodness. All right. Old FB back on his bullshit. I was perfect, right? I couldn't not take the opportunity to do that. It's been too long. Just a little bit.
I was going to say, too long. That's perfect. If there's ever a soundbite, it's going to be that one.
Yeah, it's been months. All right, so taps it in here. The closing holes are fun. Another closing par 3, which would be very interesting, and a longer par 3 here.
Yeah, you see that shaped green. Perfect. Almost perfect.
So
that was too much of a pause. I was concerned. I'm like, how is that not shot points? Come on.
GSP animation is getting a workout here, as are the instant replays. Just left of the hole. It stays just left of the hole. I'm going to call it my shot here. I think we're getting back-to-back GSPs.
That actually leads me to my next question, which is, how long do you think it'll be until we see an ace?
Oh,
okay. I swear, I did not watch this video. It was just perfect timing. That was beautiful.
We could not have sounded smarter. I mean, this is glorious. We have not watched this. Look at this thing just... Oh God,
Golden Tee Gopher, TM.
Golden Tee Gopher. So we call the GSPs. You call sort of an ace, and things are getting real here. Okay, got to shut up. Par 5. Don't hit the dark green. Okay?
Yes. It might not look like it unless you're hitting it, but that slips a little bit to the water and can get a bit dangerous.
Now that hit it soft enough where it didn't pick up momentum and roll down. Still, this is not a fun shot either, by the way.
Wow.
Wow.
That was a beautiful camera angle, barely grabbing the green with the sniper.
You could say old Farbox just squeaked it out, and that is almost squeaking it in. Oh, my goodness. I'm sorry. I had to sneak in a joke there. Instant replay. Look at how low this is.
I get the joke now. Don't mind me. A little too late. That was a beautiful joke, beautiful shot. Like I said, GSP factory between these two players.
Really, really good. That is a not fun shot no matter where you are. Old FB still with a one-stroke lead. Interesting hole here, too. Long par 4. Got to get it up, over. It sounded like it got leaf, but I don't think it mattered. No, it's a good shot.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough putt. Oh, this is a...
Taking it outside.
I really like that. Wow, that was a strong shot.
That is shot making 101 right there. Wow.
Yeah, it really shows the power of the Maniacs.
All right, so Fartbox secures it. There's right one. Wow. All right, so this is as advertised here in our first heavyweight match. We've got 2 more par 3s. This is one of them. Not a bad look. If you're going to have the 12, that's how you want it. Oh, jeez.
Yep, excellent use of the sniper ball. I'm going to call it now, and I promise if it happens, I'm not from the future, nor did I watch this video, but I think we might see a hole-in-one on 18.
Wow. Great shot again. I don't even know where we stand. This is the hard thing with great shots, right?
I know. I was just trying to think of that, and I'm not good at math. You're not good at math, so it's close, though.
Even with the ace, I know James been all over it. So even with an ace, now you got to erase the one shot, which is problem A, and then you worry about GSPs later, problem B. Look at that. That is a lot of blue.
All right, so a little birdie in my ear is saying that James is ahead in shot points, but still down a stroke. So it'd be interesting to see how the next couple holes go.
Well, that is hugely important, though, because all you need is it's not that shot and a half lead, right? It's just one stroke if you can get it back. GSPs are the kicker. This is actually, for this hole, this is a really good look because this hole can set up absolutely brutal.
Yeah, you take that 13-mile-an-hour wind and flip it in your face, much different outcome. Wow.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. FB. I don't. We have to maybe ask the little birdie where we stand after that shot. This is a perfect. Also, Kevin, the outwind is not the easiest thing to play with, right? That is not an easy shot at all.
No. Interesting wind cutter with that pin being so close to the water.
All right, so the little birdie has now confirmed.
And I open my mouth.
Okay.
Oh, well, wow.
Not anymore, right? Because that's more GSPs, I believe. Birdie, we need more information here.
That was a great shot. I doubted it, and that was my fault because it was beautiful.
Okay, so these guys are just trading punches here as we get through hole 16. We're talking about GSPs. James is now back in front. This is epic here. And this is a tough hole, Kevin. This is probably the toughest hole on the course, I'd say. I
was just going to say, if there's ever a chance for a lead change, it's going to be here.
All right. Well, that is really, really good. Really good. That is not an easy shot. Coming low. Oh, you just split the trees. I guess you can do that.
Oh, wow. God. The 1 iron? Wow.
This is
unreal.
Wow. I need to see this again because it came in so low and so quick. Oh, my goodness. What
is that, 2 foot away? That's ridiculous. That was amazing.
All right. So, James now, I would say, has padded GSPs, but you still need to get a stroke, and you need to do it on a par 3. Easier said than done.
Yeah, the up 10 green is going to make this tough. The wind cutter, smart play.
Oh. Is it too short for GSPs? No, it's not.
I was thinking that. Yes, because if you don't know, I believe it's 70 yards, a little bit under 70 yards, you can get great shot points, and that's right there.
I wonder if a chip there is doable. I'm interested to see if we get a chip. I mean, you don't need to, but I'm wondering. No, I'm going to go with the 9. It's probably a smart shot.
I like that line.
Oh, come on.
Oh! Wow.
So, James, with a GSP extravaganza. Those are like two of the same shots. Felt like I just watched a replay, by the way.
Again, that's.
But you know what that
I feel
means?
like yes, it means your boy
drops one, drops the hammer here on James. Minus.
There's nothing silent about that.
No. Minus.
I mean, look at that.
Minus 15, 109,000 GSPs. I have called more than 100 of these matches featuring nothing but heavyweights, Kevin. I have never seen, I don't know if I've seen more than 59,000. I've certainly seen never more than 100,000. We got to relive this thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, that might be a record. We need to check with Mr. Noble because that's a lot. I feel like all I said was wow and beautiful and great shot because that was the entire match. It was just left and right shots.
All right, let's look at the replays. We were told in our pre-production meeting, by the way, that the replays for the final match were going to run a little bit long. And I was like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
I get it.
No,
I get it now.
Nothing against Andy, but you're just like, okay, these are going to run a little long. But honestly, you might as well just play the entire match back because that's how great it was.
That's epic. If we get more matches like that in our heavyweight division, we are all in for a treat. And by the way, we should mention Old Fart Box, by the way. Put the crown on. Y'all got to come get it from now. But let's watch the match.
He's the heavyweight champion.
He is. Champions adjusted there, Kevin. I know you like to say. All right, so let's watch the replay, get some feedback. I don't even remember where to start. Oh, right out of the gate.
Yeah. That second bounce on the rough kicked it just enough to the right to not drop it.
Beautiful. Here we go. This was a sneaky good shot because it just found the right side. I mean, are we going to watch every match in the whole lineup or every shot in the whole? Yeah, basically.
I feel like when Andy was cutting up these highlights, he had to leave some out because you're right. It's every single hole. Just 20 minutes later, it's still a great shot. Amazing match.
But yeah, it really is. And then this one, I mean, both of these shots that these guys hit from here, epic. I thought it went in for a sec. This was really strong.
No offense to the great Golden Tee Mobile and arcade players of the past, but how often do you have a heavyweight match or a top tier match where every hole is a great shot or a highlight reel? It doesn't happen often.
Yeah, I really like this one. This was a great look, but it's still tough to get it on top of that pin when you have that big of an outwind. That's great ball control. Just play the greatest hits.
Yeah, Kevin putting his foot in his mouth saying, I don't know how he's going to get GSPs, and then nearly drops in the cup with that wing cutter.
I'm with you, though. I would not have used that ball. I would have made a case for probably 3 other balls, but what do I know?
Yes, the 1 iron I would never have even thought to try here.
I mean, that is unreal. That is just absolutely unreal. I said it looked like the same shot twice. Just a little bit of kickback from that wind cutter. I mean, if it's a foot over, it's in.
I mean, that's the tough thing is it comes down to that shot and just a foot or two, if that, from tying the game and then winning by great shot points.
That's the same damn shot, basically. It's pretty crazy. But here you go, Kevin. Shot of the match.
Oh, such a beautiful shot. Now, by the way, I just want to point out, if you happen to not see this video until the highlights, I did call that.
Well, I called GSPs. You said, I kind of wonder when the next hole-in-one is. Leading us on, sort of teasing us.
But I promise, I didn't watch the video beforehand. That was the first time seeing it, so I'm just going to pat myself on the back there.
We did not. Okay, so that means right now, Old Fart Box is our champion. I'm about to giggle because I just love doing this.
I can hear it through the walls.
You know what that means too, Kevin? We get another fight club where I get to just giggle with Old Fart Box and enjoy his excellence. But beyond the name, was awesome. And now is the champion, so you got to come beat him. And as we mentioned here, as we transition to kind of the schedule and what the Fight Club's going to look like here in the weeks to come, you can play right now. play right now. If you are playing, go tell your friends to play. And Kevin, you could walk us through this. What do we have here coming on deck?
All right, so the 19th today, qualifying has already begun for number 2, like we've said. That ends on October 24th at 12 p.m. Central. Our Fight Club Blitz Day, as we call it, begins on the 26th, 12 p.m. Central, and then bracket play begins in every division October 27th at 1 p.m. Central. And then bracket play for the semi and finals for every division is the following day through the 29th. And then we're back for the broadcast of all the finals. Your boy, Old Fartbox, defending his championship title on November 2nd.
Yeah, it's a little different. I want to make sure the clarity is there for everybody, because for those who tried to qualify in Worlds and Fight Club, it's a 6-day qualifier that goes through Sunday. We take a moment to breathe, and then we have a 24-hour qualifier that kicks in best 5 games. A lot different. Really, really like it. But it's a bit more back and forth, and then obviously, however you finish in that top 100, you get your gold, and then we reset things. We set our matches. We're going to call some more prelims. I had a lot of fun doing that, just to get things kind of back, get the rust off, I guess, Kevin. And then we'll do another one of these here in the not-too-distant future. I enjoyed this immensely. This was a lot of fun. Least stressful part of my day. What are your main takeaways here from the matches we saw?
I'll tell you what, a lot more great shots than I thought through all the brackets, especially that heavyweight match. But even, from flyweight through middleweight and beyond, amazing play for every single player in these. And interested to see how long Old Fartbox stinks up the heavyweight bracket. That was a terrible joke. I'm not good at them. Those are yours. I'm trying to think of one, and I'm lost. I'm laughing still. You use them up. You use them all up.
I got to go back and watch one of the first videos I called with him. I had about 8 singers in like a stretch of 4 holes. No, but I mean, beyond the name, that is about as good of a Golden Tee match as you will ever see, arcade, mobile, otherwise. And then let me just reiterate, I was really impressed with the level of play. We had talked about what's the best way to show these. And if you guys have suggestions, let us know, because we're going to change. We're going to add golds to prize pools. We may move around the timing of when we do these. We want to try different things. So if you have suggestions, let us know. But the level of play was excellent for all 5. And the fact that it increased as we went was really awesome. But I love the fact that you can just pick this game up, join one of these weight classes as you get your way up to heavyweight, and you got a chance to be featured. That's what this is about. It's about glory, and it was really, really nice to see.
Yeah, one more time, just because we'll say this a million times through every broadcast, goldentee.com/Apple, goldentee.com/Android. If you have not downloaded it yet, do so now. Tell your friends about it. But the other thing, too, is if you want to see more of this face and that face, hey, I pointed the right way, go to youtube.com/GoldenTee, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on every other social media channel. We're going to do a lot more of this. This was a lot of fun, Adam, and I appreciate you letting me nudge into the mobile world and join you.
No, it is fun. We're going to expand this. Support us, and we will continue to support you guys. Subscribe, share the wealth. We can't wait to do this, and go play. Stop watching this now and go play Golden Tee.
All the important stuff is over. Just go download, play now.
Yes, I need a drink of water. So for Kevin Lindsay, I am Adam Kramer. We are signing off from Fight Club Week 1. Week 2 is here. Go check it out. We'll talk to you guys soon.